from KPK today. Yes, local government. So delighted to have you. We just met tonight. It's nice to meet you. So thank you. I'll turn the time over to the ambassadors.
Thank you very much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the press. We're very thrilled to have His Excellency Atif Khan with us tonight, Minister of Culture and many other things. And I think that you're really the right person to be here with us and to support us. So thank you for your support. Thank you for being here. And so, in a few words, I'd like to explain what we're doing. This is the second of a series of 4 concerts that have been organized yesterday in Islamabad, today in Peshawar, then it'll be Lahore and Karachi. It's a Franco-German initiative, and it's a Franco-German operation. Thanks, first of all, to the musical group Stradivaria that has accepted to come and embark in this musical adventure in Pakistan. Thank you also to our sponsors, because such an operation we couldn't do alone, even if France and Germany are 2 major countries in the EU. Well, we need to get some support time and again, and so thank you Hasho Group, PC, Marc for their support, and also Qatar Airways. But we got also support locally from the Govt Foundation, and I must insist that they have been very efficient and very helpful in this. I want also to thank Goethe Institute and Anne-Marie Schimmel House, and as well as Alliance Française Islamabad, Lahore and Karachi for their very strong support. So why are we organizing this event? For 2 reasons. First, we are celebrating, or we will be celebrating next month, the centennial of the end of World War I. 11th of November 1918. Second reason, we want to celebrate and illustrate the excellent cooperation between Germany and France, between France and Germany, 2 countries that have been, let's say, at war for many years, decades and centuries. So, end of World War I, as I told you, this is a very important event. This war was not, unfortunately, the last event in a series of historical dramatic moments that started in the 9th century, when the empire of Charles the Great was separated in 3 parts, and at that time the 3 grandsons of Charles the Great were a little bit at odds together. And when 2 of them, Charles the Bold and Louis the Germanic, pledged an alliance, pledged each other support and assistance. And the interesting thing is that it's the first example of alliance between France and Germany. It's the first time that the French language and the German language were to be heard and written. Unfortunately, shortly after this, our relations deteriorated, and over the centuries we've been sometimes allied, but very often also at odds and at war. And World War I was really the first explosion of, let's say, this hatred between 2 countries. End of World War I, this is then the Treaty of Versailles, and unfortunately the treaty that was supposed to put an end to the war, to make World War I the last war, the last World War, well, this treaty has only sown the seeds of further conflicts and the cause for World War II. So we have to get over this, and I don't want to go at great length on this, but every family in Europe has a story to tell about this. Every family in Germany, every family in France has a story to tell about World War I, World War II. Short example, my grandmother was married twice. Her first husband was the British. He had fought World War I in the King Zone in France, in the Marne and in the Somme. Later on, well, after the war, unfortunately he died. World War II happened. My grandmother was in London with General de Gaulle. World War II was over, my grandmother came back to France, and she married a charming man who was Austrian, but who has served with the German army during World War II. So you see, stories are complicated, and reconciliation could also be at a grassroots level between individuals. I don't want to talk any longer on this, but what I want to say is that the situation that we are facing today in the international scene has unfortunately much to do with the pre-World War I situation. We see old threats, nationalism, terrorism, new threats as well, and I think it's time to address all this, and this is why next 11th of November the French President has convened the Paris Peace Forum, and we hope very much that Pakistan is going to be represented. Prime Minister Imran Khan has been invited. Second reason, I would say, Franco-German relationship, a very strong one. It's been, of course, something that we have been considering for quite a long time, but it came to a real implementation only after World War II, with Maurice Schumann, with Monet, but also, and first and foremost, Konrad Adenauer and General de Gaulle. And this was a very bold move done by the politicians, and the result of this was the EU. The EU that today has been granting peace and stability in Europe, but is also, to a certain extent, at threat. This cooperation between France and Germany is in all field, and this is what you see today is a very concrete example. Ambassador Martin Kobler and myself, together, sitting with His Excellency the Minister and promoting cultural exchanges with Pakistan, but our coordination goes much beyond this, and Martin is going to elaborate on this, I'm sure. Last thing, why did we choose music? First, because Robert Schumann, who was one of the founders of Europe, said that reconciliation between people, and especially between France and Germany, has to be, of course, political. It has also to be on the level of economy, but first and foremost, it has to be cultural reconciliation. Why music? Music is a language that is universal, that speaks directly to your heart. So we thought that it was a good idea to bring musicians here. Music brings peace in the heart and in the mind. Thank you to all.
Now, thank you very much, Marc. What you see today is a real first. Two ambassadors of European powers, France and Germany, sitting here in Peshawar, and in a minute from now we will have classical music from Europe. I think I'm really very happy that we can be here in Peshawar, Minister, today with you, because this is a real sign of that security is better here in this place, that we can perform here with classical music. But let me come to the topic of why the two of us are here. As you heard, the history between France and Germany was mostly a history of violence. And what you see here now today, two ambassadors who are sitting here next to each other, being a product of the post-Second World War. We are the first generation in Europe without war. Our grandfathers fought against each other, our grandfathers fought against each other, and something was in the minds of both French and German which we called hereditary enemy, something eternal which does never go away. This will be enemies forever. Now, history has proven those wrong, because after the Second World War, and after the Nazi terror in Germany, and after the war, Germany was totally in shambles. And these two politicians, the French ambassador mentioned, they set an example. And they were wise enough to say, never a war again. And this French-German axis within the European Union of at that time 6, or the European Community of at that time 6 members only, was the basis for the peaceful development of Europe. Now, we are the first generation without war, but this is not only the leaders who decided. It was, and this might be interesting for you, it was the communities. When I was young, I grew up in a village or in a small town in South Germany, and this was after the Second World War, 4 years occupied by France. Now, when the French was out, we were out, and this idea of French-German reconciliation by Adenauer and General de Gaulle was on the table. The politicians decided that not only they have to meet, that not only Adenauer visits Paris, and General de Gaulle went to Bonn at that time in order to celebrate reconciliation. No, each and every young person of Germany and each and every young person of France, they went to the other country. Now, we had, in the small town we were living, we had high school contacts twice every year to a partner city in France, and the partner city came also twice every year. So we had contact, our schools had contact 4 times every year with a French counterpart. This was the schools, joint lessons, this was the orchestra of the school, this was the football club of the school, this was the football club of the town, these were the Rotary clubs who went back and forth. This did not only happen in my small town, it happened everywhere in then West Germany, and it happened also in France. And with this, among the young population, created an idea that we did not understand our parents anymore, who thought in this notion of being eternal enemies, having eternal enemies in France. No, we did not understand this thinking anymore. And this was due to the community level exchange. Nowadays, we have, on the political level, joint cabinet meetings where the whole cabinet is coming to Berlin, and our cabinet is going once every 6 months to Paris. We have in the field of culture, we have a joint TV station called Arte. And one thing I would like to tell you I'm particularly proud of in this cooperation. This is a joint school book. A joint school book covering the difficult periods of German, French, and French-German history from the early wars until the First World War, Second World War, the French school book with a joint interpretation of history. Now, if you think here in Peshawar, you have a joint school book here and in Afghanistan, or you have a joint school book between here and India. And this, I think, is a great achievement. I admit it has taken 50 years to come there, but this school book, a joint school book with this different publishing houses, one in French and one in German, with the same interpretation of history and the same translated text, I think this is a great achievement. Now, we are hearing today now music, real classical Baroque music of the 18th century, and the history of German-French relations is not only a history of violence and a bloody history, no. It is also the 18th century was the birth of the period of Enlightenment, where the values of Europe were born, and we are equally proud of this, to have this inspiration from the French to the rest of the European continent. It culminated then in the French Revolution and the ideas of liberality and what is now human rights, and the basis of the UN Charter and the basis of what is Europe today. Now, Europe today is not only Germany, France anymore. Europe today is larger, 27 member states. Unfortunately, one decided to quit, which I really deplore. But this is Europe today, and by integration and by really people-to-people contact, I mean, we are now in a situation where a war between Germany and France is virtually impossible. Now, I'm very grateful to this development, to our parents' generation, to wise politicians, but also to those who have brought this idea of people-to-people meetings, brought it to life, and that we as young people had the chance, I mean, to liaise with the others, with the French young people on the other side. That's why the youth-to-youth cooperation in difficult political situations, Minister, the community level, the exchange of communities, I think this is nothing strange to you. You are Pashtuns at this side of the border and the other side of the border. This is something which is in theory much easier for you because you share the same language, the same culture. We do not share the same language. And I think Europe is a fine example that one can get out of a confrontative, of an enemyship into peace through dialogue but wise political decision. And I think Europe nowadays, and this started with the French-German friendship here, is the biggest peace project in the world, guaranteeing 70 years of peace on the whole continent, which we had never before. That's why I'm particularly happy, Marc, we can be here today together. And this is really a fine example of how history really can work. Thank you very much. Once again also, ministers, for your hospitality here. And the floor is yours.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. First of all, Excellency French Ambassador, Excellency German Ambassador, Chief Marketing Officer of Hashu Group, welcome to Peshawar, and I mean it's really a moment of happiness for us as well. Shahram Khan is sitting here, and it's a moment of happiness for us as well. Because maybe a few years back, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years back, Peshawar was almost forbidden for ambassadors or foreigners. So now this is a sign of a good sign that ambassadors from all over the world, they can come to Peshawar, they can arrange their whatever musical functions or whatever function they want to. So that's a very happy moment for us as well, not for only for Germany and France. It's a happy moment for us as well. So thank you for coming here. आप लोगों से थोड़ा सा इन्होंने आपको बताया कि एक तो इम्पोर्टेंट बात जो जर्मनी और फ्रांस की हिस्ट्री इन्होंने बताई कि सैकड़ों साल तक कि इनके बाप दादा आपस में लड़ते रहे और नुकसान होता रहा सबका। तो अभी जैसे इन्होंने कहा कि बहुत अरसा हो गया है, इन्होंने जब से वर्ल्ड वॉर ख़त्म हुई है, ये उसकी भी 100 साल मना रहे हैं कि ख़त्म हो गई है। और ये एक अच्छी एग्जाम्पल है हमारे लिए भी कि हम भी ऐसे स्टेज तक पहुँचे कि हमारे यहाँ भी ये लड़ाई झगड़े, ये खुसूसन जो हमारे पड़ोसी मुल्क हैं उनके साथ ताल्लुकात बेहतर हों और उसी लाइन पे हम लोग चलें जहाँ पे यूरोपियन यूनियन है, पूरा यूरोप है, जो उन्होंने ये सारी उम्र लड़ते रहे आपस में, लेकिन इन्होंने फिर बैठ के फैसला किया कि लड़ने में सबका नुकसान है, लड़ने में किसी का फायदा नहीं है, जो जीत जाता है उसका भी नुकसान होता है, जो हार जाता है उसका भी नुकसान होता है। तो इस वजह से ये एक अच्छी एग्जाम्पल है हमारे लिए भी, अल्लाह करे कि हम भी आगे जाके किसी स्टेज पे ऐसे इस स्टेज पे पहुँचें कि हमारी भी आपस में ये मसले ख़त्म हो और एक पॉजिटिव साइड पे हम लोग आपस में तिजारत करें, आपस में अच्छे ताल्लुकात बनाएं और आगे चलें। और फिर दूसरा मैंने जैसे जिक्र किया कि हमारे लिए बहुत खुशी की बात है कि फ्रेंच एम्बेसडर, जर्मन एम्बेसडर ये आए हुए हैं, अपना इनका ट्रेडिशनल म्यूज़िक है और ये पेशावर आए हैं, यहाँ पे इन्होंने फंक्शन अरेंज किया है जो ये इस्लामाबाद में, कराची में, लाहौर में भी करेंगे। पहले होते रहे पाकिस्तान में, कुछ अर्सा पहले पेशावर में भी होते रहे, लेकिन कुछ अर्सा जो हालात ख़राब थे उस वजह से बिल्कुल एक्टिविटीज़ बंद हो गई थी। तो ये मैं इसमें खुशी महसूस कर रहा हूँ कि अच्छा है कि अल्लाह करे कि पेशावर के हालात और अच्छे हों, कल्चरल एक्टिविटीज़ हों और फंक्शंस हों, स्पोर्ट्स हो, टूरिज़्म बढ़े, जिसके लिए हम कोशिश भी कर रहे हैं। इनके साथ भी जिस तरह जर्मन एम्बेसडर ने शायद जिक्र नहीं किया, गोलगट्टी में ऑलरेडी ये फंडिंग कर रहे हैं, उसको हम प्रमोट कर रहे हैं। जो रिलीजियस टूरिज़्म के लिए हम प्रमोट करेंगे कोरियन से, जापानीज से, वो जगह को हम प्रमोट करेंगे ताकि यहाँ पे लोग आएँ, पाकिस्तान का इमेज बेहतर हो, कारोबार बढ़े, लोगों को रोज़गार मिले हुकूमत को रेवेन्यू मिले, यही तरीका है आजकल दुनिया में आगे जाने का। तो उसी पे काम कर रहे हैं इंशाअल्लाह। टूरिज्म को भी बढ़ाएंगे, कल्चर को भी बढ़ाएंगे। मेरी ईरानी जो काउंसिल जनरल हैं उनसे भी उस दिन मुलाकात हुई और हम लोगों ने एग्री किया कि हम कल्चरल लेवल पे और कोशिशें करेंगे और एक दूसरे के करीब आने की कोशिश करेंगे। तो आप सब लोगों का, मीडिया का भी खुसूसन शुक्रिया। आप लोगों का भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट रोल है इसमें। ऑब्वियसली पेशावर के केपी के इमेज को बेहतर आगे प्रमोट करना पूरे पाकिस्तान में और फिर आगे इंशाअल्लाह ताला दुनिया में, कि लोग यहाँ ये ना हो कि पेशावर में सिर्फ धमाके होते हैं या सिर्फ यहाँ पे अगवा होता है। तो अल्लाह का शुक्र है हालात काफ़ी बेहतर हो गए हैं। आइडियल भी नहीं है लेकिन बहुत ज़्यादा बेहतर हो गए हैं। अल्लाह करेगा मज़ीद भी इंशाअल्लाह ताला बेहतर होंगे। खुसूसन मीडिया का मैं शुक्रिया अदा करता हूँ क्योंकि इनका बहुत पॉजिटिव रोल है। मैं शाहराम खान को दूंगा भी माइक, को कुछ तो बातें करना चाहें।
Thank you, Jay. First of all, I thank the Excellencies, German and French ambassadors, Ashu Group, the entire media and everybody. It's again, as Atif said, it's a moment of joy for us as what the history has been shared with us by the French ambassador and the German ambassador, as they've been fighting for years, for decades, for centuries. And then they have realized that there is no win at the end. So why not, let's have peace and let's enjoy life and let's give peace to our children and to our upcoming generation. So for us it's a learning experience as well, and we appreciate by such an important countries decided to move forward and to have a better life and to leave a legacy of peace and harmony between them. Peshawar is a city used to be very good, used to be, a lot of foreigners used to come. We were very young at that time, we were in school at that time. We used to see a lot of foreigners used to come and spend time here. That thing we want to see again for us and for our generations to come. You, the ambassadors and your team members coming here, it's a matter of pride and happy moment for us as well. We appreciate the support in you coming here. Music, again, it's a very nice way of sharing a very good message all across and see what is good happening all around. Last thing, media के जो हमारे जो भाई हैं, आप सब लोगों को शुक्रिया। इनको वाकई दाद देने की बात है जो आतिफ ने कहा कि हम यहाँ पे इन लोगों को नहीं देखते थे कि जो यहाँ पे आते थे। ये एक बहुत ही पॉजिटिव मैसेज है पेशावर के लिए, खैबर पख्तूनख्वा के लिए। जैसे आतिफ ने कहा कि टूरिज़्म को हम प्रमोट कर रहे हैं, इकॉनमी को सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं, जॉब्स इससे मिलेंगी, बहुत सारी एक ज़बरदस्त एक्टिविटी होगी। और आपको याद रखना चाहिए कि जब पैसे कमाएंगे, बिजनेसेस होंगी, डेवलपमेंट होगा तो हमारा माशरा आगे बढ़ेगा। ये नेगेटिविटी से कभी माशरे और कौमें उठती नहीं, पॉजिटिविटी से होती हैं। और वो ये सारी एक्टिविटी, और इनका शुक्रिया अदा करते हैं कि ये अपनी एक अच्छी चीज़ पेशावर लेके आए हैं और यहाँ पे अपना मैसेज पीस का और हार्मनी का और इत्तेफाक का हमारे साथ शेयर कर रहे हैं। हमारे लिए जिस आतिफ ने कहा एक मैसेज है, तो मैं अपनी बातें शॉर्ट करता हूँ, लेकिन कहने का मतलब ये है कि इंशाल्लाह खैबर पख्तूनख्वा पे अच्छे दिन आ रहे हैं, पाकिस्तान पे भी और खैबर पख्तूनख्वा पे खुसूसन जो अमन आ रहा है, बेहतरी आ रही है, टूरिज़्म बेहतर हो रहा है, इकॉनमी बेहतर हो रही है, जॉब्स क्रिएट होंगी और इंशाल्लाह पाकिस्तान के अंदर भी खैबर पख्तूनख्वा का और पाकिस्तान के बाहर खैबर पख्तूनख्वा का और पाकिस्तान का दोनों का एक अच्छा नाम आगे जा रहा है। तो आप मीडिया का इस पर ज़रूर सपोर्ट कीजिएगा, बेहतर सपोर्ट कीजिएगा और एक पॉजिटिव मैसेज आगे देना इस यहाँ के नौजवानों के लिए, बच्चों के लिए, यहाँ के बुजुर्गों के लिए और यहाँ के बिजनेसेस के लिए। तो आप सब लोगों का बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया। At the end, I thank you again for coming here and sharing such a, arranging such a nice event for everybody. Thank you.
Sir, my question is for both of your excellencies, that what is the reason behind choosing specifically this region to deliver your message? And secondly, how fruitful would be your efforts to promote your message?
Well, I think it's very important to come with these messages to areas where these things do not necessarily happen very often. It's very easy to go to Lahore, it's very easy to go to Karachi, but to be here in Peshawar and to draw the attention also to Peshawar. And I didn't understand everything you said, but you have spoken about unemployment, about tourism, about getting jobs, about economy, if I got it right without knowing your language. But I think that it's really, I'm very happy that we can be here in Peshawar, because this also might demonstrate that this is a new era of linking Peshawar again to I mean, the rest of at least our thinking. Because Peshawar, to be frank, does not have the best image. And it's really high time, I mean, to change the image, to change the perception. And I'm quite happy we can do this in Peshawar. Now, whether this will be fruitful or not fruitful, this is another question. But Chinese philosopher said, I mean, the longest trip starts with the first step. Now, for us, this is a first step. But it's also the message, I think, we present, that we are here together. Former enemies are here together, touring Pakistan, and at least informing that it worked in Europe. It worked in Europe to create a zone of peace and stability and prosperity, not by fighting, but by really dialogue and by also economic development, but integration and working together and meeting on all levels.
Just to complete what you say, I think